Hello everyone, and welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Paris for the MSEM format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 1 match between Ravenous Gengar, who is playing essentially green-white Fog-Spewered Tribal, which essentially is a Hate Bear-esque deck that aims at getting out a bunch of early Fog Spewers, which turns off creature decks, non-creature decks, and then also has a good creature speed to boot. InfinityChef is playing a similarly quote-unquote janky deck. Is playing Fox Tribal, which is coming off the back of... So the story behind this one is kind of funny. You might be wondering, why is he playing a vanilla 3-1? Well, we have a bot that we use to call cards called LackeyBot. And then one day someone basically made... And it calls based on name. So sometimes if you put in a thing that isn't a card name, you get something crazy. So one day someone put in the next card to get banned, and it returned Fox of the Orange Orchard. So ever since then, Fox of the Orange Orchard has kind of been a meme. But InfinityChef has chosen to take that meme and essentially made it stop being a dream and is going to try and actually win a GP and maybe even get a champion pro mode, which is exciting. So Ravenous Gengar is going to use Hierarch Ranger to get out a turn 2/3 Theocracy. This is kind of one of the standard cards for the Hate Bear decks because it allows you. It basically it functions as ramp plus card selection and also is really great for aggressive finishes. So it's going to grab a Collar of Hunger. This is a pod variant, which I think is another way of getting out those Fog Spewers early. Okay, so far not many creatures for Chef. It's technically a Citywide Automation and Fox of the Orange Orchard, though I think you never really want to be playing Fox of the Orange Orchard until you have some of the Lords. Oh no, it's just going to run it out, and then it's going to Galvan Coal Line back the mountain. Having all of these lines, I think, is for the artifact synergies like the Tricked Out Hoverboard. Which when Chef hits 5 mana, this thing is just a house. Especially because Gengar is going to be gumming up the board with some of these creatures, especially stuff like Talon Cultivator, where you're fine if it dies, is really not where you want to be. Okay, and Theocracy nabbing a Sacrificial Bull, another powerful green 2-drop. This is probably the best Scooz variant in the format, acting as life gain in a pinch, and also being able to just machine gun down graveyards. Okay, and then Gengar is going to tap out for a Tiny Heroine Tati. So yeah, it's just going to use the first +1 to gain 2 life. Having a bunch of fetches and pain lands helps to turn that on. Or sorry, that's a +2. Yeah, and then she's just basically the epitome of a powerful white walker. And then next turn is going to be able to -4 for a creature with convert mana cost 2 or less, which again, as you can see, the entire deck is basically built around enabling that. And so it's going to use the mana from Hierarch Ranger to exile the Wayfarer Shrine, buffing up the Sackable to a 3/3, is attacking with the Collar, so it doesn't want to lose the Sackable to the trade. The question is Chef gonna take the trade with the Fox or just let the Collar through? I think at this point, with so little board presence, Chef just has to let the Collar through. So it looks like Chef just traded off the Fox and call when Chef is already so behind on board. I feel like you want to keep the Fox and then try to go for a crazy tricked out hoverboard play. But no, it looks like just going to play the currency into a Citywide Automation. So it's got 6 artifacts here. Now going to bump that up to 7. Still only at 3 or 4 lands next turn, so can't immediately play the tricked out hoverboard and then equip it, unfortunately. And I think that's basically Chef's out here, because otherwise Gengar is just solidifying their lead. Okay, is going to use Hierarch Ranger's Encourage ability, buff up the Sackable to a 4/4. Theocracy taps down one of the colorless construct tokens since now it's discovery mode. So yeah, I think if you're Chef, do you just keep... Oh, nope. Yeah, and Chef is just going to pass to damage. And then Gengar is going to buff up the Sackable once by exiling their own Amber Hills. Gonna hit Chef for a massive 5, and basically puts Chef on a 5-turn clock. Or sorry, 3-turn clock. Then he's gonna What Lurks Beyond on the Talon Cultivator. Gonna get maximum value by getting the Dies trigger. So So it looks like can either get back Seeker of Untouched Beauty or another Talid Cultivator. It's going to get back the Seeker of Untouched Beauty, which are now 3/3 tramples on their own, so quite impressive. And still hasn't even resolved the What Lurks Beyond. Okay, Time Stream Sentinel, so which starts off, and then can Taughty for, can Taughty for another Time Stream Sentinel, and then make both of them into 4/4 flying lifelinkers. Or sorry, not both of them, just the first one. Still quite powerful. And I think having 6 powers worth of life gain in the air means that Chef is going to have to use the Tricked Out Hoverboard defensively instead of offensively now, which severely limits the potential for taking this. Just because, like, Gengar has the life gain from Taughty, life gain from these, is also putting a huge clock on. I think, like, Chef's chances were pretty bad going into this, but also drawing, drawing none of the Lords and just having a bunch of kind of dinky artifact equipment synergies, it definitely feels bad. So he's going to run with the Tricked Out Hoverboard. It has the treasure, so can act from currency, so can actually immediately equip it. But at that point, Gengar could just take the damage. It's going to be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be 9 damage. But then Gengar can just take it and then swing back with the Sentinels. So I think Chef has to keep the defensive. Oh no, it's just going in. And Gengar with the immediate block. I think you potentially could have. I honestly think that you could have just kept the Sentinel around and taken the 9, since you're going to be hitting back for 6 in the air anyways. And then so you can gain 2 from Taughty. So you'd essentially be gaining 8 life in total. So you'd literally only take 1 from the hoverboard attack. Might have been worried about a combat trick from Chef, but I don't think Chef has any in their deck. Okay, so Gengar going straight for the attacks is going to swing in for 9 damage. Okay, going to buff up the bull. So yeah, 10 damage, 5 of which is lifelink. Definitely no slouch there. I think doing that before using Taughty was probably a mistake. Okay, Fog's just going to empty the hand. Fog Spear, Seeker coming down. But yeah, I should have used Taughty before to gain 2 extra life. I don't think it's going to matter because Chef just has no outs. We're going to a game 2 here. So looking at sideboards for both of these decks, I think Ethereum Aberrator actually does not do much. Gao Wu Master Soothsayer might come in, but I think that, like, the thing is, like, I don't think that you I don't mean this like in a rude way, but I don't think you respect Chef's deck enough to like bring this in, because I think Gengar has many ways of gaining life, and also puts on, and like I feel like this would hamstring Gengar's pressure as much as it would hurt Chef, maybe even more. Leisha's Green Blade I think is an easy bring in. Probably I would out 1 Seeker, 2 Talid for 3 Green Blade, and then you could bring in Baby Scale Bruiser as a removal. Spore Flows is just stuff to gum up the floor, but I think that in general, Gengar's deck should be mostly favored here. So I think the Baby Scale is going to come in. So let's just say like -2 or 3 Talid, -2 Seeker for 3 Green Blade, 1 Baby Scale is my read on the siding. Meanwhile, for the Foxes, I think you bring in all of the Ostracizer Orbs, and then you bring in the Fellor Charms, and then probably out like the Nidohane War Fans and some of the and I think you probably honestly you out all the Foxes of the Orange Orchards first, unless you're committed to them, and so that would get you 4 slots. So then you put in 3 Ostracizer Orb, 1 Fellor Charm, and then probably take out a Nidohane War Fan and maybe a currency. But yeah, that's my read on this sides. So going into game 2, we see that Chef did not out the Fox of the Orange Orchards, but still did find slots for the Fellor Charms. This time has a turn 1 play with the Rikiri Initiate, and is going to be able to have a very nice curve here, going Rikiri Initiate into Fox of the Orange Orchard or Red Tail Fencer if you're feeling like playing actual Magic, into 3rd Legion General on turn 3. Meanwhile, Gengar's hand is looking a little bit more sus. Does have turn 2 Time Stream Sentinel, but I think Chef's aggressive start might actually just outpace this. I think Chef is literally debating should I bolt the Ranger, Or no, okay, I guess this chef was debating, should I go for the meme or the good card? And went for the meme. Lord. Okay, so the top deck Seeker of Untouched Beauty is nice because it allows Gengar to put two bodies on the board. Surprised? I guess, actually, yeah, I guess couldn't actually play the Time Stream Sentinel because needed a creature to encourage. So yeah, Chef with the curve out. Third Legion General coming down. Fox the Orange Orchard becomes a 4-2. Rikiri becomes a 3-2. Seeker can't block because it insta-dies. Collar can trade with one of them. But yeah, this is why the Red Tail Fencer would have been a little bit better here, but it's still fine. So yeah, Collar's just going to trade with the Fox, and then is going to take 3 from the Initiate. Or take 4? Not sure where that last damage is coming from. Yeah, it's only 3 damage. So yeah, so long, Fox of the Orange Orchard. Maybe see you sometime in the near future. Okay, Gengar drawing a land. I guess could Threshing Sundew for the Collar, but that doesn't feel super great. I think you probably just play the Time Stream Sentinel here, and then you hope to gain some life while trading with the General or Initiate, and then just kind of go from there. I think the scary thing is, no matter what a Gengar plays, Chef can just Felor Charm it, and then swing in with both the General and Initiate without having to worry about one of them dying. Because even if Seeker blocks General, it just insta-dies. Of course, that might be good for Gengar because then it works as ramp, but right now it doesn't exactly have much to ramp into for what it's worth. So I'm going to use the Hierarch in addition to the lands to go Time Stream Sentinel, Collar of Hunger. Yeah, Collar does make this a little bit more annoying for Chef because can't just kill it with the Felor Charm. The Felor Charm's second mode of Lifelink Indestructible could work, but I think if there's a double block in the future, probably not worth it. This is going to run out the Red Tail Fencer, 3-2 first strike, which is no slouch, then swings in with both. Okay, I'm not sure what the plan is here, honestly, because I guess can Felor Charm the one that blocks the General? Oh no, Gengar's just going to take 5. Okay, I guess Chef probably can just Felor Charm the Time Stream Sentinel in response to shenanigans, because I think the hope is here that Gengar uses Collar of Hunger to sack Seeker of Untouched Beauty, find Time Stream. While Time Stream's trigger is on the stack, Chef can Felor Charm to kill the first Time Stream Sentinel. The second Time Stream Sentinel still is around, but Gengar doesn't really... Gengar has to start giving up board presence at that point. Yeah, Chef is just waiting to see whether Gengar actually gets another Time Stream Sentinel, probably. But yeah, so far I'm liking all of the little interactions in Gengar's deck, like the Seeker being a good sack target for the Collar, all your tutoring being really good with your time streams, and yeah, now Chef in response to the ETB trigger is just gonna murk the first Time Stream Sentinel. Yeah, that's a death. And then next turn, can use Rikiri Initiate to crew Brinefleet Bay and then swing with Red Tail and Brinefleet Bay to prevent Gengar from having good blocks at that point. Because Brinefleet Bay is actually an artifact vehicle land, which you can crew for 3. I think Chef's best top deck is probably just another Third Legion General, because I think that just that kind of just ends the game in your favor. Also love Gengar going rats in the chat, and then 3 people immediately jumping on like, no, actually they're foxes. Oh, and Thundermane Fox as a combat trick here is actually really deadly. So, yeah, so it's going to crew the Brinefleet Bay. Swings with everything, yeah. And then, no matter what happens, if Gengar tries to block the Third Legion General, then Thundermane Fox just comes in and just double strikes to kill it. But there's basically no really great blocks here for Gengar. I can't believe we're gonna see the Fox's deck actually the trajectory it's looking at right now is that it's actually going to win a game here. Though Threshing Sundew into Time Stream Sentinel sounds pretty fine, because then it's a 3/3 flying lifelinker, which is another annoying threat for the deck to deal with. But this could very easily... Oh no, Gengar's just going to drop the GG. Did Gengar know about the Thundermane Fox? Probably not. But it was just assuming that I'm going to take all this damage, and or like I'm going to have to lose my board presence, and then I won't be able to recoup it. And oh my god, the Fox's deck won a game. Not only won a game, it might actually win a set. And I think that's just the thing where you're like, in the Hate Bears versus aggro matchup, what just ends up happening is like, you as Hate Bears, you sacrifice some of your speed in exchange for better matchups against more interactive decks. While like the aggro is just I'm going to go fast, and I guess Gengar also just kept a hand without a lot of life gain, and then the source of life gain that Gengar did have got shut down quickly. So an interesting opener from Gengar here. Decent number of lands, got a curve of Collar into either Greenblade or Toddy. So he's going to keep that. Meanwhile, Chef has a somewhat aggressive start. No one drops, but can go into turn 2 Red Tail or I'm surprised the Abrogators can actually, but I guess it stops the ETBs of the Theocracies. I guess it also shuts down Green Blade, so that's valid. But yeah, I think Red Tail or Abrogator would be infinitely better plays, but my heart tells me that Chef is going to play turn 2 Fox, and I'm going to be just seething. Okay, turn 2 Collar of Hunger from Gengar. And wow, that's a lot of 2-drops, and not much mana to play them on consecutive turns. Oh, and Chef not making the meme play? I think Chef is like, hold on, I can actually win this set, and it's like, so we're not doing any of those meme plays anymore. So yeah, the Abrogator comes down. This shuts off Greenblade being able to kill stuff. So I think the best play here is probably for Gengar to just drop Tati. Can also hunt Collar into any 2-drop in the deck. No? Okay, so it's just going to Tati. +2 back to full life. And then swing in with the Collar. Chef naturally wants to keep the Abrogator around, so he's not going to take this trade. Or will they? Will Chef take the trade? Nope, yeah. Because in the next turn, Chef can just play Red Tail Fencer to block on the ground. Ethereum Abrogator keeps poking down Tati, and then you just kind of get off to the races there. Alternatively, you can, with the third land, can now equip Staff of play and equip Staff of Equilibrium. Yeah, okay, so it's going to do that, and then can just start beating face. Okay, and that's essentially just double strike right there. Double strike that you can save up. Can also actually main 2. Just kill the collar. No, it's not going to kill the collar. Gonna let Gengar untap with the collar. That is definitely a choice. I think that killing the collar might have been the safer line there, but then I guess that what that does allow Tati to then +1 to make the gnomes. So that could be a potential rationale for not doing that. Also, maybe just worries about Time Stream Sentinel coming down. Because yeah, Time Stream Sentinel into Tati -2, another Time Stream Sentinel is very annoying. So that's probably actually why Chef kept up the mana, or the counters. Okay, so Gengar gonna run out the top deck Theocracy, and hey, if Gengar hits a Time Stream Sentinel here, Chef's decision will have proved to be vindicated. But I think even if Chef kills the first Time Stream, pretty fine just having the second to block the Abrogator to prevent Staff from getting more counters. And no, Baby Scale Bruiser is actually really good. Can reveal Leja's Greenblade and then just, oh no, wait. Baby Scale doesn't actually get it because of Abrogator itself, because it's not an artifact. Never mind. So, must not have had very good hits there other than the Baby. Also, the Time Stream stuff I was talking about earlier would not have worked, so that actually explains the Ethereum Abrogator bring in quite well. But yeah, entirely my bad. And yeah, main 2 is just going to +2 up Toddy. No life gain, but then just puts her out in an annoying range to be able to be killed. Okay, Chef once again swinging face with the Abrogator. Staff up to 4 counters. Okay, so Chef going to play the Lumen Bay Flyer line, bouncing the plains. So now has 4 mana this turn, so maybe he's just going to go double Red Tail. Oh no, had to go for the meme. The Fox of the Orange Orchard coming down. Though perhaps actually, no, not even actually a meme, because Fox trades with the Baby Scale Bruiser. So that's actually just legitimately a fine play if you're planning on blocking there. And interestingly, it looks like Gengar did bring in the Gawu. So Theocracy 2 hits, Sack Bull comes down, and Sack Bull can grow into a 5/5 here, at which point, but you don't want is Sack Bull to grow at all, because unless you're planning to go on the offensive, because then you can't play Gawu. But I guess Gawu doesn't actually do much here, it literally just stops Fox. So going on the offensive with Sack Bull actually sounds like a reasonable play. The problem is, like, next turn Chef will be able to absolutely murderize the Sack Bull. Okay, and Tati is going to go search something up. I'm not sure what this could be in this case. Like a time stream sentinel just makes sense to be able to trade with the abrogator, or to force counters off the abrogator. Force counters off the staff, sorry. Yep, looks like Gengar did end up finding a time stream sentinel right there. So yeah, Theocracy plus Tati does lead to quick, fast, big board. And Chef still does have a lower life total than Gengar. So Gengar could just start putting the pressure on. Okay, so doesn't attack, instead plays the Gawu. This does mean, however, that now Sack Bull cannot be buffed if it wants to be used on the offensive. Okay, and Leja's Green Blade just going to come down as another 2/1. So yeah, Gengar just has the hugest board right now. Yeah, in one turn, it tripled their creature count. So an interesting thing here is Chef could swing with Ethereum Abrogator at face, Thundermane Fox, Staff would trigger twice, so it would go up to 8 counters, and then Chef could then just machine gun down Gengar's board. That honestly seems like a solid plan, because then, okay, so you go up to 8 counters, then you can kill Gawu, kill Leja, let's say 3 on Tati, so you kill Tati, so that's 5 counters, so then you have 3 more left, you probably killed, oh no, okay, yeah, oh yeah, sorry, you need to kill Time Stream Sentinel first, and then you have 1 counter left over. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Wait, Chef didn't play the Thundermane Fox? Oh, that's surprising to me. Okay, so he's just going to use the counters to kill Tati. He's going to let the Green Blade and Gawu and stuff stick around. Okay. And then probably just play another Red Tail Fencer and Rakiri Dissident. No, okay, actually, Abrogator instead of Dissident, because actually Dissident, Chef is low on life, so don't want to actually accidentally kill yourself with the Dissident. So that makes sense. And unfortunately for Chef, Gengar has a bunch of Tatis to replace that one that just died. Theocracy is also now on 3, so can tap down one of the Red Tail Fencers or the Fox if need be, because then that means that Baby Scale can get in. Unless Chef wants to use the last counter on Staff. So yep, Gengar gonna tap down the Red Tail Fencer with Theocracy. Okay, gonna swing with Sack Bull, Leja, and Gawu. The tricky part is, the Sack Bull can actually be buffed after attacking, huh? So that makes it a little bit more spooky for Chef. So Chef, I guess, has to block this one. Okay, so swinging for the hills. You probably use Red Tail Fencer to kill the Collar of Hunger. Put Fox of the Orange Orchard on Sack Bull, and then the remaining damage is 4. So, and I don't think that Gengar has any combat tricks, so you just take the 4, and then, yeah, that sounds like the plan to me. So yeah, there's the Fencer on the Collar. Oh wait, takes it back. Oh ho, okay, he's gonna Red Tail plus Fox on the Sack Bull, and then block Collar with Ethereum Abrogator. The reason I don't quite like this is I think that Chef, by keeping around the Ethereum Abrogator, you hit for 4 in the air with the Abrogators, let's say. You also then play Thundermane Fox, which allows you to hit for 6 in the air. Staff goes up to 5 counters. That's 11 damage. So then, at that point, Gengar can't really, Gengar only has 1 use of the Resplendent Substratum left, and then and if you have a third creature that isn't and Ravenous chooses not to block that with the Baby Scale Bruiser, then you're just fine. So it looks like Gengar didn't actually. So did Gengar sack the bull for life? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, Chef trades off most of his board, and the second toddy comes down. Okay, he's gonna plus one for, or plus, sorry, plus two for no gain. Okay, Lumen Bay Flyer Line. Technically does put Chef up to 5 mana, so can go Dissident plus Fox for what it's worth. So then, okay, so you play Dissident, you take two from the Forgotten Step. Oh no, you need it. The problem is with the way that the mana floating works, you can't actually do it in a surprise way. Okay, so he's gonna swing with the Abrogator. Please play the Thundermane Fox, Chef. I'm begging you. No, Chef didn't. Why does Chef keep? Chef, just play the Thundermane Fox. I don't understand what the logic was there. It even provides another block. Is Chef just trying to use it as a surprise flash blocker? I guess that's fine, but I think taking up Staff twice is just so much better. Yeah, that just, unless there's something I'm not thinking of, that just feels like an abject punt. And now Gengar gets to tutor up another Time Stream Sentinel or what have you. Yes, the Theocracy taps down the Red Tail Fencer, swings with everything. At this point, okay, is going to Thundermane Fox in, presumably block the Baby Scale Bruiser, give itself double strike, block Baby Scale Bruiser and trade, and then use the staff to ping these two, killing them. Gengar gets some 2-drop, which that's actually scary because then if Chef loses, like if Chef takes 2 counters off here, won't actually be able to kill a Time Stream Sentinel, which is the scary part. But then if Chef decides to just take 2 here, then Chef can't play the Rikiri Dissident, which I don't know how much that matters, but then it is another 2 less damage that Chef will be able to deal. So, and yeah, I really think that you could have just solved this by Thundermane Foxing to double up the staff counters, because then that would give you enough counters to just because then Fox could still block a ground creature. You would spend 4 counters on one of the 1 toughness plus Baby Scale, or you could just chump Baby Scale and then only spend 2 counters, and then staff would be, I guess, back to 3, and then you'd still be able to kill a Time Stream Sentinel if you needed to. Yeah, that literally seems like the best play, because then you untap, you can swing for 4 at Tati, you can swing for 2 at Tati with the Red Tail Fencer, swing face with Ethereum Abrogator. You get up to 3 counters. You can use that to immediately kill Tati, and then you're up on board by a lot. So it looks like Chef is going to take 2 counters off the staff, kill both of these. Thundermane Fox blocks the Baby Scale Bruiser, so they trade. Wait, did Chef forget to give the Thundermane... Oh my god. Did Chef forget to give the Thundermane double strike, which lets Gengar keep around the Baby Scale? That's another such a bad punt, dude. No! Okay, he gets 2 gnomes on the ground because of Toddy. Okay, what lurks beyond the Baby Scale? Probably into another Time Stream Sentinel? Oh no, it has to be 1 greater, so it has to be Threshing Sundew, or what was the other 3-drop? Threshing, or Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor works well. I think this is probably curtains for Chef, unless Chef can piece together some way to deal 10 damage to Gengar here over this board, but it seems unlikely. What is the winning play here? Okay, another Ethereum Abrogator. That is a flyer, but again, this Lone Survivor is just... Yeah, this is not good. Okay, so he gets 2 more damage in the air. Staff ticks back up to 3. And then main 2 Abrogator. So now... and is going to take 2 to play the Dissident. Okay, yeah, Dissident comes down. So now there's definitely some multi-blocking situations. Staff plus one of the blockers can kill a Lone Survivor. So this is a little bit better for Chef, but still... The Tati just generating more value is going to be a problem. So yeah, Tati's going to +1 again, more gnomes. Okay, so yeah, Theocracy is just going to tap down the Rikiri Dissident, and then swings with the Lone Survivor plus gnomes. The thing is, you need to block one of the gnomes at least, is the issue. Because unless you don't plan on playing spells next turn. So if you have a lethal line next turn, you actually don't care about that. So, like let's say, okay, so if you're fine with going, let's say Red Tail Fencer on Lone Survivor just to chump, you take 2, then next turn you swing for 4 in the air, and then Staff ticks up to 5, and then you win. Okay, so that's actually a winning line. That is a winning line. What it doesn't account for. Okay, yeah. So just Red Tail on the Lone Survivor, take 2. This doesn't account for Gengar. Actually, no, can't play Toddy. Another Toddy. Wait, yeah. I think Gengar just loses. No. Okay, yeah, it's gonna. Okay, actually, he's gonna kill 1 gnome. Okay, yeah. That still leaves Chef with enough counters to kill Gengar, assuming that Gengar doesn't gain any life this turn. Oh my God! I think Chef might actually just have this. Okay, gonna play the Hierarch Ranger. Not sure. I don't think that does anything. Looking back on it, I think plussing Tati was for the gnomes was that wrong? That might have been wrong instead of just tutoring for, because I think what you wanted to do was tutor with the first Toddy, then play a second Toddy main phase 2, and then use that to create the gnomes. But yeah, I think Chef just has guaranteed lethal here unless there's something I'm missing. Yeah, so just swing for the hills. Okay, Staff ticks up to 4, and then Chef can just kill with the Staff. And oh my God, the Fox's deck won a set. Admittedly, not on the back of its Foxes, more on the back of the Robot Overlords. But yeah, Staff of Equilibrium was definitely the MVP that set. But yeah, good games. And Chef with, I would classify that as an upset in round 1. And oh God, I really hope we are not. I really hope we're not on. This is not the first chapter of the Foxes win the GP story, because Lord, what a tale that would be. But yeah, I think Chef's deck still has a solidly aggressive core with some explosive elements. And I think that it wasn't that Gengar's deck was bad by any means. It was just that Chef's Gengar didn't really have the direct answers that they needed to be able to take care of Chef's threats. And to be fair, Staff is a really dangerous threat, but it just came down to Staff plus a flying creature. It doesn't matter how much you gum up the board if you can never land an unkilled flying creature. But yeah, good games to both players, and what a way to start off Grand Prix Paris. Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.